anyway, so we're learning today about video frequency tables and histograms. All right, so anyway, we're going to learn about frequency tables and histograms. And frequency tables are a way to represent a set of data. So say, for instance, you're at the home run derby, okay, which is where a bunch of baseball players get up, I guess. I've never been to home run derby. And they just throw pitches at them and they see how many home runs they hit, right? Okay? And so, so if I have a whole bunch of home runs, so these are home runs by certain batters. Home runs by batters, okay? And so they give you a set of data, and all of this is kind of set up the same way. So we get a 7, then a 17. And they don't, in your book, they don't separate these by commas. But for me, it's a little bit easier to show you the different numbers with commas. 2795. 2, 7, 9, 5. I'm not done yet. 12, 3, 10, 4. 12, 3, 10, 4, 12, 7, 15. 12, 7, and 15. So here is a set of values. Okay? Now, in order to make a frequency table, the first thing that you got to do is find the range. Do you know what the range is? Find the range. Does anyone remember what that is from earlier?
This number is subtracted by the smallest.
Very good.
Number.
Thank you, Alec. It's the largest number subtracted from the smallest number. And so what's the largest number here?
17.
17. And what's the smallest number?
2.
Minus 2. Okay? And if I do that, I get 15. So there's a range of 15 numbers. And say I want to figure out, determine the interval. So determine the width or the interval based kind of on how many different bars you want to have in your graph. So what do you think would be reasonable? How wide should I make each bar? What do you think? If I want 4 bars on my graph, where should I start this interval?
Like an inch?
Well, what?
Never mind.
No, not as far as the height.
Oh, for the width?
Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, maybe like 5 in each. If I did 5 in each category, I'd start at 2, right? Because I'd need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 2 to 6. And then I go 7 to, add 4 to that, 7 to 11. And then 11 to 15. That would only give me 3. So let's say that each interval is going to be, we want 4 intervals. So what did we just say? We were putting 5 numbers in each one? Let's try putting 4 numbers in each one, because 4 times 4 would be 16, right? You understand what I'm saying? 4 times 4 is 16. So if I divide this by 4, what do I get? 15 divided by 4. I get like
3.5.
3, is that exactly 3.5?
Somewhere around there.
3.75. So
Let's find out.
if I make so if I want 4 intervals, okay, what I do is I divide that number by 4, and then I round up. That's what I do.
So you
Yes.
can pretty much just choose the amount of
Well, they'll kind of tell you, but they'll say, okay, I want to have 6 bars on my graph. So then I divide by 6,
Okay.
and I round up to the next whole number. Okay? So in this case, I'm going to go make my first interval 2 to 4. So when I make a frequency table, max, frequency table, so over here I put the, what do I put? Over here I'm going to put home runs, homers, not Simpson, just plain old homers, okay? And here I put frequency. So you want to have 2 different columns, and from that we're going to make our histogram. So I don't start at 0, I start with the lowest number, and I decided that I'm going to go up to 4 for each interval. So if I start 2, and I want this interval to be 4 wide, I'm going to start at 2. Where am I going to end?
6.
Is that right? 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh.
You can count on your fingers. So it's kind of different than you would think, but this one would go from, so anyone who hits 2 to 4 home runs, wait, 2, 3, 4, I said 5, didn't I?
No.
I wrote, yeah, that would go from 2 to 5, right? 'Cause-
That's 4 and you wrote it, so.
oh, 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry. Then I want to go from 6 to where? 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, so from 6 to 9. Okay? And then I'm going to go from 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 4 numbers in there. Okay? And then I'm going to go from 10 to what? 11, 12, 13. You could just think, so I'm adding 3. And then I'm going to go from 14 up to 17, right? 14, 15, 16, 14, 15, 16, 17. Because, so there's 4 numbers that could go in each one of these intervals. A 2, a 3, or 4, a 4, or 5, right? And then I could put a 6, 7, 8, or 9
What
in
is
here.
an interval?
10, 11. It's the place, it's how many home runs they hit. If they hit this amount up to this amount, then they get placed in this interval. So looking up here, how many of these, how many people, this is people, how many players are there first of all? What's my total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30? No.
13.
Oh, that's, yeah, 13. I don't speak Spanish. Where's Luisa? Oh. Okay, so is it 14? I think it was 14, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is that right?
No. Not 14
I said 14.
Yeah, that's non-correct.
That's what I meant. 14. There's 14. Okay?
I'm sorry.
So, how many people hit between 2 and 5 home runs? Good. How many people? Count. 1, 2, 3. Is that it? 3, right? So 3 people hit between 2 and 5 home runs. Okay? How many people hit between 6 and 9 home runs? Let's change colors so I can tell. Okay.
Wait, there's a 5. There's a 5 right there.
Oh, I missed a 5. Sorry, you're right. So that
That's
should
four.
be actually a 4. How many people hit between 6 and 9 home runs? 3. 1, 2. Where's the other one? 3. Did I miss anyone?
9. There's 4.
9. Okay, so the 9 counts too. So that this is called inclusive. It counts the endpoints. So inclusive meaning it counts the endpoints too. So there's 4 people in that bracket. Okay. How many people hit between 10 and 13 home runs? Let's change colors again. 10 and 13.
3.
I agree.
3.
Is there 3?
Yeah.
There's
3.
1. Where's the next one?
10.
12. And what am I missing?
Oh,
Okay.
up there 4. That one. 4.
Oh, no.
4.
Where's the other one?
14 is part of that.
15 and 17, right?
10 to
Yeah.
15.
No. So
Oh.
there's
Oh,
only
13
3 in
is
there,
three.
right?
Oh,
3. And how many people hit between 14 and 17 home runs? Is that 3 as well?
Yep, yes.
Did I miss this? Oh no, there's 1, 2, 3, right? And just to make sure you did it correctly, how much does this add up to? Right, if I summed them up, I would get 14, which matches this number, so I know I counted all my people there. Okay?
Wait.
So this is the number of home runs they hit. So these people hit, 4 people hit between 2 and 5 home runs. Okay? 4 people hit from 6 to 9 home runs. 3 people hit from 10 10 to 13, and 3 people hit 14 to 17. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I like missed how you got 14.
I added up how many there were.
Oh, you add them all up and then divide
Yeah,
them by.
n equals 14. That's the number of people
Like,
playing.
the
number.
You add up the numbers.
Yeah, not you're
The
not
number
doing.
of them. Yeah, you add up the numbers.
Okay. So now we're gonna make a histogram out of this. Okay. And the way you make a histogram is by drawing some bars or drawing something that looks like that.
Numbers on the left.
Okay. Yeah. And we're gonna divide up the intervals just like it is over here. So we're gonna put one bar here from 2 to 5. And then the next bar is gonna go from 6 to 9. 6 to 9, I wrote 6 to 8. 6 to 9, fantastic. And the next one is 10 to 13. And the next bar is 14. This is between, people hit between 14 and 17. I should say 14 now, plus 4.
Is this going to be an easier,
I think so, that's what I just said. Okay, now over here, so this is home runs. Home runs. Down here, always label your axes. Home runs hit. And this is going to be from together. Okay? Okay, we're continuing. Same topic, yeah, same thing. Okay? So over here, we're going to put the frequency. Okay? Frequency. And we're just going to number, since it only goes from up to 4, we're just going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do our bar graph. So the first, not a bar graph, sorry, a histogram. So the first one goes up to where? 4. So you draw a bar, so I could use my straight line. So you draw a bar going down like this. See that one? Okay, where should I start the next one? 4. Also at 4. Okay, and I could go like that, and then down here. And then the next one goes up to 3. It goes like this, and down to there. It's like a what?
Shoe.
It's like a
Just give it some time.
Okay.
There you go.
And
That's the shoe.
if I did this ideally correctly, these things represent all of the different players and how many home runs they hit. And it gives you a representation of, what is most common. What is most common? If you were to say, on the average, where would you say that most of the people fall?
6 home runs.
6 home runs?
I'm going to say like 2.2-ish.
Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty equal, but, well, no one hit more than 4, right? Wait, sorry. People hit between 2 and 5, 6 and 9. So maybe somewhere in the middle. So maybe 9 to 10 or maybe a little less, somewhere in there. But we can find the average. That's called a histogram. You know that? Histogram. Does anyone know the difference between a histogram? This is called a frequency table, and this is called a histogram. Histogram. That's because snakes like histograms. Okay, not really. But does anyone know the difference between a histogram and a plain old bar graph? Do you know the difference?
Well, I know one thing that they differ.
What?
Well, in a bar graph, the bars don't touch.
Exactly.
But in a histogram, they do,
Nice.
which means that they're like more linked to each
Very
other.
good. And it's meant to represent all of the possibilities. Like this is, with a bar graph, this doesn't necessarily have to be a number down there. This is kind of a continuous set of numbers. Whereas with a bar graph, you could have,
Maybe
like people like vanilla ice cream,
Yeah, it could be like-
people like chocolate ice cream, people like strawberry ice cream, and so on and so forth. So a bar graph is different in that bar graph, this would kind of represent how many people like that, and this would represent different categories.
why was there a piece of paper glued to the table?
Okay. For example. So say, for example, we have we're going to make another histogram with hours of TV watched. Okay, hours of TV viewing. TV, I can't write looking at that. Viewing per week by high school students. Ooh, that might be you guys. School students. And I'm not saying who's who, but we're going to try to make a little histogram of that. So 7, 10, 1, 5, 14. I'm going to write down some numbers. 7, 10, 1, 5, 14. What else? 7, 10, 1, 5, 14, 22, 6, 8, 0. 22, 6, 8, 0, 11, 13, 3, 4, 13, 3, 4, 14 and 5. 14 and 5. So I'm going to ask you guys to try to do this. Okay? Let's determine the range and make 4 equal intervals. Okay, so let's see if you guys can come up with where you want to pause. So we're going to go, the range is 22. 22 minus 0 equals 22. Then I'm going to take that, since I want 4 intervals, I divide that by 4, and I think I get 5.5, right? 5.5? Okay, and then I round up to 6. So what that means is I want 6 numbers in each set of numbers. Okay? And that should cover me. So I'm going to start here at, where am I going to start? I start with the lowest number. So where do I start? 0. Who said that?
Me.
Who's me?
Paige.
Paige. Very good, Paige. Frequency. So the frequency, I'm going to start at 0, and I want 6 numbers in there. So where do I go to? Not 6. You'd think it'd be 6, but you got to remember you're counting the 0, and then so you're counting 0. So you only go 0 to 5. That's 6 numbers, right? 0, 1, 2. If you don't remember, it helps me to count on my fingers. Don't tell anyone. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes 6 numbers. Okay? Yes, sir.
Does the frequency go on the right side?
Sorry. Yeah. You're right. Well, I messed up. Uh-oh. We're going to have to start this video all over. No, we're not. Okay. So 0, but it's still 0 to 5, but that's the interval. Okay? And then we'll do the frequency over here. Frequency. And then we're going to do 6 up to where?
8.
Just add 5 to it. 6 plus 5 is?
11.
11. Is that 6 numbers? No. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Works, right? Okay? So then we're going to go 12 to, add 5 to it. 17. And then we're going to go 18 up to
22.
23, right? Even though we don't have one. Okay, I guess we could end up with 22.
Wait, but
But yeah, but you want all the widths to be even. Yes,
But
ma'am.
aren't you supposed to use like 6? Oh,
No.
forget. Don't ignore
So
it.
now we're going to make this little frequency table, and you guys can do this, right? This is easy. How many numbers are there between 0 and 5?
5.
Are there 5?
6.
Let's see. Let's just cross them out. 0,
Yeah, it's fine.
6.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there more? Did I miss
That
someone?
was one.
5, 6, right?
Oops.
Is that right? So there's 6 there. So try, that'd be a way to count them. And how many numbers between 6 and 11? I'll use a different color so we can tell them apart. Between 6 and 11, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that all?
Yep.
Is that all? 5. Okay. How many between 12 and 17?
3.
Is there 3?
Yep.
Different color.
There's 4.
We have to use,
There's 4.
what? Let's use this color. Red. Is that red? I don't know what color that is. There's 4
Oh,
between
never mind. No.
12 and 17.
Just good.
That one. 1, 2, 3. And how many between 18 and 23? 1. Okay? So now we're going to do our table, and then we'll say, oh, I'm going to make another little bar over here. So I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to extend this. And we're going to make our graph. And what should go over here? What should go down here?
Hours of TV.
Hours of TV watched. Hours watched, we could call this. And this is frequency over here. Frequency. And I'm going to just divide these intervals up just like we did. So here is, here's 0 to 15, 0 to 5. And the next one is going to be 6 to 11. 6 to 11. And here's 12 to 17. 12 to 17, I'm writing kind of small. And then I have 18 to 23. And then, as far as my frequency goes, what would be a good, how should I count by?
6.
By 6? Should I just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yes.
Okay, so here, well,
Or
that's,
you, I think you should just do.
I'm going to count by 2s,
a 2.
just to do something different. 2, 4, and 6. Okay? And I can still manage this way. So the first one, 0 to 5, I have 6. Right? So I'm going to go over here and draw that and down. And then 6 to 11, I have 5, which should be about halfway between here and here. 5. And then I have 3, which is halfway between 2 and 4. So I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to go to 1, which is down here. Okay? So, what can you tell me about this graph? Where do most of the students fall? Where do most of the students fall as far as hours of TV watched
0 to
per
5.
week? Okay? 0 to 5 or 6 to 11 in this range, right? So that kind of makes sense because that's like an hour of TV a day, right? And then here, this is 18, 23. These are people, if you divide 21 by 7, you get 3 hours a day. So some people are, in the extreme case, are watching this much TV a day and so on and so forth, okay? So the other thing, this graph is said skewed, there's a word, skewed left, meaning more of the data is kind of lopsided, okay? So it's kind of more left than right. If it's in the middle, like this, like what we would expect for for like test grades or something, like this would be, maybe this represents testing, and this would represent maybe the 70. We would hope that we would get this kind of distribution, like 70 to 80 in here, and then there's less people get 80 to 90, and then this is called the symmetric distribution, and this is called a skewed distribution. Okay? One more thing that you're going to see tonight, and then over here they'll put another column, and over here you have the cumulative frequency. And the cumulative frequency is, all I have to do is add them up as I go. So between 0 and 5, this is 6. And then, so what this, the cumulative frequency would be every time there's a number between 0 and 11. So in other words, all I do is I add 6 plus 5, and I get 11 here. And then I have 11 plus 3, and I get 14. And then I have 14 plus 1, and I get 15. And this number here should be the same as the total number of items in your set of data. You see that? Cumulative frequency is just adding them all up as you go. But when you make your histogram, you make it like this. Symmetric, skewed, and that's it. Do you have any questions or anything like that?
No.
Have you seen this before? Have you made a histogram? You probably have, but maybe you didn't know they were called histograms.
We did them in like
6th grade.
Sixth grade, good, okay. So you should be good, and you should all get A's on the test, right?
totally.
So,
if we did the test like right now, just